folks from London. Thank you for hosting us today. Everyone has been telling me all my life that it always rains in London. But clearly, all they were wrong, right? It's always bright and sunny. And anyone who's traveling from outside, welcome to London. Super excited to be talking to you all today at Cultivate 22. Today, it's all about talent, career, skills. That is the focus. What COVID showed us how important talent is, both as an enterprise, but more importantly, as an individual. How important career is. And that is what made me start this journey a few years back. How can we help with employment? If we can ensure that everyone has the right job, right career, the career that will make them happy, successful, thrive, world will be such a better place. So that is what led us to start Eightfold. My personal journey started as actually, believe it or not, as an AI researcher in early or mid-1990s, working on the problem of speech recognition, followed by doing PhD in machine learning, AI, and its application in areas like bioinformatics, gene editing, computer vision, speech recognition, and so on. This was followed by joining Google and being an AI practitioner over there, where I led all the personalization efforts. And what makes Google work, or any of these online media properties work today, is being able to understand people. What video you are likely to watch next. What news article you are likely to read next. Do you want to buy the same printer paper again and again? Or do you never want to buy the same dress again and again? Building that profile and model for each person. And then applied that as an AI technologist at the prior e-commerce company that I started, Bloomreach, which again works with some of the leading brands, even in Europe, to again model people to understand what are their preferences, what are their likings, what excites them, what they want to shop next. But that is when the moment came to understand, yes, we can do all those, but what would be the most impactful thing? If we can use the same technology, same concepts, same scale of data understanding, and apply it to skills. So I've had these multiple careers, eventually leading me to start Eightfold. But it's just not me. While I've had these multiple careers, if I look at the audience today, more than 2/3 of you have had multiple careers in your own lifetime. This is data we looked at, all the audience coming in today. In fact, most of you have had not just multiple careers, more than 3 careers. And when we look at what we call the other side of the pond, things are moving even faster. We had our event in Napa last month, where 90% of the people had on an average 4 careers in their lifetime. This is the world we are living in. But you know what is enabling this? Sure, this is all obvious, right? But what is enabling it is the skills. What skills you have that lay the foundation for the next career, and what is your learnability for new skills. So again, these are some of the skills that you all have. Probably sounds familiar. And this is what has enabled you to do what you do, and also enabled you to have different careers. For example, Andrea, she was a marketer at American Express, and many of you have talked about how recruiting is like marketing. She did move from marketing to recruiting. So that has become the norm. And some of the top talents represented, top skills represented in the audience today are things like HR strategy, consulting, recruiting, and so on, which again all makes sense. This is all fine. The exciting thing is this, that some of the skills that you represent, some of the skills that you have, are the fastest rising skills in the industry. What keeps me up at night? Like people ask me all the time, right? As a CEO, Ashu, as a founder of a company, what keeps you up at night? It's really the talent. When I am having this conversation with other CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, it's the same thing. What keeps you up at night? Do I have the right people? Who do I need to help? Who do I need to grow? Who I need to nurture? How should I change my organization again to support people? That is what's keeping all of us at night up, right? And you are the enablers of that change. Today, more than ever, talent is front and center. But what is making it hard or exciting is the world is changing even faster. Can you believe that 15 years back, smartphones didn't exist? Barely 15 years back, there were no smartphones. 6 years back, most of us had not heard of blockchain. Video conferencing was not that common 3 years back. Today, the very first thing you say, okay, let's do a Zoom call. We didn't even know what Zoom was 4 years back, right? Most of us. So the skills are changing extremely fast. The data shows that whatever we know today will be outdated in barely 5 years from now. That combined with roles are changing even faster. What your role was pre-pandemic, what your role was during pandemic, what your role was during Great Resignation, completely changed. Sometimes you're busy hiring, sometimes you're trying to manage the talent at home, sometimes now you're worried about work from home policies, remote work policies, and so on. And businesses are evolving. Whether you're a telecom company trying to adopt 5G, whether you're an oil and gas company and trying to be a clean energy company, whether you're a financial institution trying to embrace crypto, blockchain. Already made life hard. But then, many of you might have seen the news yesterday. Fed announced 0.75% rate increase. If you chart out over even just barely 5 years, this chart is not that old, how the demand and supply curve has changed. Today, for every open job, we have barely 0.5% available. And this growth was happening. Then suddenly 2020 happened. Everything came crashing down. Almost feels like a knife drop over there, right? And before we even knew it, before we could even react, I still remember in 2020, and we will have a session with one of my investors later today. I got a frantic call. Ashu, COVID is happening. I'm like, yes, I understand. I saw that news as well, right? Start laying off people. 2 months later, COVID is gone. Forget about it. World is moving. Start hiring, hiring, hiring. And here we are in 2022. And no one knows what will happen next. And if, by the way, anyone knows whether we will have a great recession or not, let me know. And I will go and invest or short the market, right? I don't know about what will happen. I don't think anyone knows. But what I do know is whether recession happens or not, whether you are in the cycle of great resignation, you are struggling with talent. The vicious cycle of talent is you're in a high growth market, right? Which is where we are today. All of you are trying to hire people. You're trying to hire faster than you can. Every business leader is knocking on your door saying that, why can't you hire more people? I need more people. In fact, I needed 50 more people yesterday, right? But that is not just the problem you're running into. Every other talent leader in the industry is struggling with the same problem. So you can't hire fast enough. There is no availability of talent. So what do? You ask your current team to do more work. And then that talent is like, we are burning out. Like even in our company, people are like, Ashu, you are asking us to do more work right now while we are struggling with things. We are already behind hiring those 50 people. So then some of those people leave, actually, unfortunately. Resulting in clients saying that, why are you not finishing this work? Unmet customer needs. That is a challenge that happens, right? And all of us are struggling with that challenge. But what's scary is that on the other side, let's say the slowdown happens, recession indeed happens, the labels will change, but the cycle will remain the same. Any one of you who's in Bay Area, right? You don't want to join Coinbase right now, right? In fact, you don't even want to join many of those other companies because, they are laying off people, right? And then as a result, what happens? You have a scarcity of talent, right? Companies pause hiring. Now, what happens to the skills? The world is still moving fast. The technology is still evolving. The 5G is still coming. Crypto is still coming. So you now have the lack of the skills. And if you have the lack of the skills, you can't develop the tools and technologies that is needed to support these new set of customers. And that is what we call vicious cycle of talent. And we are definitely going to be in one of these two modes over the next 2 years, right? And the only thing that can come to rescue in these times is what we call upskilling. Focus on your own talent, grow them, upskill them. But at some level, that's not anything new. We have talked about it forever. Pretty much all of you have some or the other learning program going on in your company. But the challenge, what happens is, as we look at the data, and we say that we need data scientists, we can't hire them fast enough. So what we do is we take some senior software engineers and upskill them. But in that process, we create a hole over there. It's almost like you're dousing one fire and creating another fire. And the only way to solve this is through upskilling pyramid. You can't just solve the problem of moving senior software engineers to data scientists. You have to start all the way at the bottom. No matter what skill you're talking about, what role you're talking about, what function you're talking about, right? For every function, what does the upskilling pyramid looks like? Otherwise, you will be constantly fighting that fire. And if you do that at a scale, things will be so much better and easier. So with that, I'm super excited to announce Eightfold upskilling. If any one of you is interested, happy to talk about that in more detail offline. Reach out to anyone at Eightfold and they can help you understand this. We think of this as a 5-step process. And the very first thing is understanding the market. What talent exists out there? What skills exist out there? Have you ever wondered why Amazon is the best cloud company out there? Or why Google is the best AI company? Or why Disney has a great customer service? And for that, you really need to understand the talent those companies have. Your competition is no longer with the next company. Your competition is with everyone. Every time I'm talking to the people, they are like, we are losing talent to Google. We are losing talent to Netflix. We are losing talent to Amazon, right? So understand the market. What talent is out there? What skills are out there? A few years back, when we were starting the company, someone asked me, Ashu, can you help me hire Golang engineers with 5 years of experience? The only challenge was Golang was a 4-year-old language, so there were just not enough people with 5 years of experience in Golang. And understanding that market is extremely important. When someone comes and tells you that we need to increase diversity over here, what talent exists out there? But then it's not only about understanding the market, it's about understanding your own talent. What talent that I have in my own organization? One of the CHRO made a very interesting point. Ashu, I know more about my talent on day 0 than day 365. And I see some nodding heads over here. Isn't that crazy? Someone was asking us that why, at Eightfold, right? Why we think about talent acquisition and talent management? Why are we just not focused on one or the other? Well, if I know more about my people on day 0, if I understand the challenges of the market through hiring, I know what to do with my own talent. We need to look at that picture holistically. And third is build your own talent network. There are less than 8 billion people on this planet. Actually, this planet is a very, very small group of folks. That's it. And if it feels like, no, you're crazy, 8 billion is a large number, Google is probably today indexing more than 1 trillion documents. In Bay Area, where I am coming from, there are less than 2 million professionals. That's it. And many of you, with the size of your organizations, you have already interviewed and screened more than 2 million people. I was talking to Bear, and I doubt there's any person in entire Germany who's interested in pharmaceutical industry and not talked to Bear over the years. You already know about each and every person. Your employees, your alumni, your contractors, your freelancers. So that once you understand the market demand, once you understand what you need, you know how to tap into this network. But the challenge is that even if you tap into this network, many of the people may have some skills, but not all the skills that you need. So you have to figure out how you are going to upskill the talent. And this is where it all gets extremely interesting. Speaking for myself, in the last 20 years, I have not done any course. I have not taken any in-person class. Some of you have probably done that. Many of you may not have done that. But one thing is for sure that all of you have learned a lot. Hopefully, today will be a day of learning for all of you. As you go back, we would have learned a little bit more about AI, a little bit more about HR, a little bit more about regulations, right? All of us choose to have different ways of learning. Some of us like to take courses. Some of us try to learn on the job. Some of us try to learn by going to events. Every time when someone comes to me and asks, Ashu, should I take this job? My first question is, what are you going to learn in that job? And how is that going to prepare you for your next job? And what that requires us is to deliver personalized career path to each person, personalized development plans. Maybe for her, she wants to first connect with mentors, so get the right guidance, take up a job, and some courses. So can we use AI and today's technology to provide a personalized development plan to each and every person? Enabling a continuous upskilling journey for everyone. And this is what we are announcing today. This is what we are excited to work with you on today. Because no matter whether it's great resignation or great recession or anything in between, we need to keep doing this. The fact is, we will have multiple careers. Our kids will have multiple careers. Our employees will have multiple careers. We can't stop that. People will switch jobs. We can't stop that. But what we can enable is that most of those people will have those multiple careers with you in your own organization versus outside. And what has enabled all this for Eightfold? Anything that I'm speaking today? Frankly, these are not my thoughts. These all have come from you all. So I want to thank all the customers that we have. Today, we have customers using us in 110 countries across 25 plus languages across pretty much every industry. And one thing I want to highlight as part of this, what has been exciting in this journey is working with a variety of customers across every industry so that we are able to learn from every industry. See, another thing that has changed is most of these companies actually employ physicians, lawyers, software engineers, data scientists, HR professionals. The only difference is at some level, if you're a hospital, you have a lot more doctors than engineers. If you're a company like Google, you have a lot more engineers than doctors. So by virtue of working with all these companies, you are able to learn across industries, across sectors. And one customer in particular that I would like to thank and raise a toast for, which has made all this happen and shown what innovation can do. In last 20 years, or actually in last 40 years of my own life, the biggest threat that I have seen, all of us have seen, is COVID. And Moderna has enabled it for us that we can travel, we can have this live session, we can mingle, not worry about masks, right? So thank you, Moderna, for making this happen for all of us. With that, again, welcome you all to warm London. Today will be a day of learning. Hopefully, you will go back with some interesting tidbits. I'm here, team is here to answer any questions, share your thoughts with us. Thank you all.